guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Choma Stitches and my name is Choma. You're welcome back to yet another sewing tutorial, and in today's sewing tutorial we're making this beautiful trendy jacket that is beaded. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do it and how to bead it from beginning to end. Okay, I'll be needing beads for the back. Now I'm going to use these particular ones, these stone beads, crystals. I'll be using it like to add bits of layers and to design it at the back. The quantity of beads you are going to be using for this will depend on the length of your jacket and the opening that you want to bead, like you want to use bead to cover or design. Okay, so that's for that. And then I also be needing doll face, a little bit of doll face for the front. Cutting of this, it depends on how free you want it to be. You can decide to make it very big, you can decide to make it smaller, however you want to make it. Okay, for this jacket I used 2.5 yards of ankara. So this is the selvage of the fabric. Pay attention to how I'm folding my fabric so that you will be able to replicate it and do yours exactly the same. Okay, so this is the selvage of the fabric, obviously, and this is the right side of the fabric, and I'm folding on the wrong side because I'm going to be using my chalk, my fabric chalk, to write on it. Okay, so you need to write on the wrong side of your fabric. All right, so and you have to consider the length of the fabric you need as well. Okay, okay, so I've folded my fabric into two and I've cut out the two piece of it. Okay, so the one under is going to be for the back and this one on top is going to be for the front. If you want to make your own to be exactly like the one I'm making, you need 2.5 yards of ankara to do it. Okay, of course you can also do this with any other fabric if you would prefer. Now the sleeve is part of the width of the measurement. Okay, so you calculate the length of the sleeve that you want from your shoulder to wherever you want your sleeve to stop. You add that to the width of the measurement of the fabric, which means it might increase more than 2.5 yards if you want the sleeve to be longer than this. So understand that. Okay, so now what I need basically for the bodies of this dress is about 15 inches including the sewing allowance, but I'll be using the whole of 19 inches because of the sleeve extension when we get to the top here, but all the way down here we need 15 inches. I hope you understand. From the shoulder I'm going to come down to 11 inches. So this is where the sleeve is going to stop. Now I'm going to come down here and then mark out the bodies of the dress. Okay, so I'm going to mark out 15 inches from here, and from this place I'm just going to connect it to that 15 inches. Okay, let's cut that part out step by step. Now this piece here, you also use this piece, you can keep this and use this for your ruched effect. Okay, I'm going to show us that later, much later. So I have 31.5 inches as length. We're going to be using 1 inch to hem it at the bottom, and we'll be needing 1/2 inch for the shoulder joining. On the shoulder I'm going to mark 2.5 inches for the neckline. I'm going to be adding doll face of say 2 inches around the front piece, so we have to take it out from the main fabric first, which means you're going to be taking out 2 inches from this. If we're going to be adding a doll face of 2 inches by width on this part of the front, which means we are going to be taking out 2 inches here. So I'm going to mark the 2 inches first. So I've marked out 2 inches. I'm going to take out 1/2 inch that we are going to use to attach the 2 inches. So from these 2 inches I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch when I'm cutting it out. That half of an inch is going to be the 1/2 inch we're going to use to attach the doll face to the ankara. So I'm going to cut out from here, but I'll be mindful of the 1.5 inch. So I will not cut on exactly the 2 inches, I'll be cutting inside by 1.5 inch. Please note that I am cutting only the front piece. I did not cut the back piece, so the back piece is still intact. I have not cut the back piece. Now we are going to now include the neckline. Okay, now you are going to come in for the neckline for the front. I'm going to add from here, I'm going to now go in by 2.5 inches, and then on this 2.5 inches I'm going to come down to say 8 inches, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect this 8 inches to exactly where we are going to be attaching it. So I'm going to be straightening it. I will straighten it up like this. So I'm going to mark all the way from here because of how this place tends to be a bit curvy, I'm just going to straighten it out. It might take maybe 0.25 inches in, so I'm just going to straighten it out to just so it doesn't have a pointy line. What we have here is a total of 4 inches for the neckline, so I'm going to just mark out the 4 inches and then I'll curve by half an inch for the back. So at this half an inch, I'm going to cut both the front and the back piece together. Alright, so now I can take out this front piece, and then I'm going to cut out the neckline for the front piece. So I'm just going to go in from this place, from where I straightened it out. Okay, now for the back piece, now you can now decide how open you want the back piece to be. I'm just going to move this front away. Now the back is going to have an opening where we are going to hem it. Now if you're going to be needing like 1 inch to hem the back, let me just open it up and so I can explain practically. So now I've opened it up this place now. If I decide to hem here with 1 inch and I fold it in like this twice, I have created a 1 inch space at the back. If I do the same thing on the other one, which means we've taken out a total of 2 inches from the back. Okay, and that 2 inches will be replaced with our beads. That is where the beads come in. Okay, let me open this up. I'm taking out the front piece. Let's open this up like this. Now this place, the way it is now, this is the complete back, just with an opening. Now if we take out 1 inch here, let's say we fold in 1 inch here. So if I fold in 1 inch like this, which means I have a 2 inches opening at the back, that is where our beads are going to come in. Okay, so the beads will now be what you are going to use to cover this 2 inches opening. Now what this means is that the more you take out from this back, the more beads you are going to be needing to cover it up. But if you decide to hem it with 1.5 inch, which means you have created 3 inches space, 3 inches opening at the back, and you'll be needing 3 inches of beads to cover it up. I hope my explanation makes sense. If you don't understand it, please watch it again and try to understand it. It is quite easy. I'm trying to explain it for beginners so that even a beginner can follow with this tutorial. I think I should use 3.5 inches. So from the top, I'm going to start with 1 inch. As I progress towards the down part, I can increase it. Okay, so I'm going to come here and I'll mark half an inch, and then I'm going to slant it towards this place. I'm going to create it slanted, and I'll come here and I will slant it like this. Okay, what this means is that from the shoulder I'm going to measure up to say 12 inches. Okay, so from the shoulder to 12 inches, I'm going to be using 2 inches of beads to cover it. From 12 inches down, I can now increase the quantity of beads I'm using. The quantity of beads can now be 3 inches to cover the back, because I'm going to cut off this place. I hope you understand. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out now. Now that I've taken out this part, when I hem here with 1 inch like this, that's half an inch folded twice. So from the shoulder, I'm going to measure down 12 inches, and that 12 inches part is going to be having 2 inches bead, while from the 12 inches downwards, it's going to having 3 inches bead. I hope my explanation makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hem this and hem the sleeve opening. Okay, fold here. I'm using 1 inch as well, so fold here with half of an inch folded twice. I'm going to hem this sleeve and hem here. And then for the ruched effect, you're going to be needing 2 long ropes. You are going to be putting for the both back and the front piece, front side. Okay, so this piece I cut out this from the armhole. Remember this piece that came out from here? So I don't want to throw it away. You can use it, but if you have a long rope that you would prefer, use it if you don't want to join. Because for this one now, we're going to be doing joining. So I'm going to cut it out. This one is long enough, so you just make a rope. You're going to cut it like 1.5 inch or 2 inches, and you make a rope. So depend however wide you want to make your rope, or however thick you want to make the rope. That is totally up to you. Go ahead and make a rope that we're going to be using for ruched effect. Now this rope should be long. Okay, Now we are going to be placing this ruche effect so somewhere from here all the way to this place, which means you're going to be needing a rope that's as long as, say, at least 54 inches in length for both each side. So you need 54 inches for the right side, 54 inches for the left side. So you need 2 ropes for the ruche effect. Okay, I did not alter the shoulder slope. Now you can also alter the shoulder slope if you want. Okay, but just know that if you alter the shoulder slope, it will affect the sleeve opening, which is why you should use enough allowance so that when you are altering the sleeve opening, it will not affect your dress too much. So let's say I want to take out the shoulder slanting. I'm going to come down from here by 1 inch, and then I will use my straight ruler to connect it to this place. So from 1 inch, you use your straight ruler and connect it to the neckline, and then you can cut it out. Alright, so this is the front piece, and I've hemmed the sleeve, and I have done the same thing like for here for the back piece, hemmed the sleeve and hemmed the opening for the back. So now I'm going to be joining the back and the front on the shoulder. So also note that we have a 2 inches opening here. Okay, so but that won't affect the shoulder joining because of the neckline. So I'm going to place this like this. So I'll go and join both shoulders, and I have and because I need 2 inches for the front, what I have here is by 5 inches. So I'll be using half an inch to join this to the front piece. Okay. Alright, so I've joined the shoulders, and you can see it's in parts. I'm going to be adding this toe to it. So you are folding this in half. Alright, so this is the center. This is where I'm going to be attaching it. So I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin the center here. Now, at the back we have a missing 2 inches that we are going to be replacing with our beads. So I'm going to mark out that 2 inches. I'm going to, from this center, I'm going to mark out 1 inch on this side. I'm going to mark out 1 inch on the other side. Okay, this is the opening that is going to be left here. Then I'm going to go in again by another 0.5 inch or 0.75. okay, now this 0.75 I am going to make a notch here. Like a little bit, up to like half an inch, where you are going to start joining it from. Alright, from there. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to go and fold in here. So I'm going to fold in here like this, okay, and then I'm going to fold this side on it, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and sew here first to put it together. Alright, so I've gone ahead to sew here, and remember I already marked out the 1 inch where I'm going to be attaching it. It's cleaning, so I'm going to just reinforce it. Okay, now this is to make it easier for me to attach it. So what I'm going to do now is open this place. So I'm going to take this is the 2 inches in between that we cut out at the back. I'm going to place it here, leaving like 0.25 inch or something here. I'm going to place it here at this beginning, and I'm going to pin it. I'll take this other side and I'll pin it on the same place as well. Now I'm going to take the rest of the fabric and just keep pinning it on this side. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pin this all the way to the end and then join it. Okay, So I've gone ahead to pin it. I'm going to go ahead and sew it now. After pinning it, you take it to your machine and sew it with half an inch all the way, half an inch all the way. Okay, this is why we make here neat, so that this place you won't have to sew it, and sew it all the way till the end. So I've joined it, as you can see, and this is how it looks. Let's cover it up and show you how this looks. Of course, I'm going to cut out the excess of this. Okay, so this is what I have. Look at it in front. I'm going to iron this place, obviously. So, and I'm going to go ahead and weave here and weave the sides. But before then, I'm going to join it. So let's cover it and let's join the sides. So I'm going to take it like this, and then I will join the sides using 1.5 inches. I need the allowance for my rich effect, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But before you join it, because of the rich effect, you are going to hem the down part first. Okay, you will hem the down part because I added 1 inch at the length so that I can hem it with 1 inch. So I will fold it with half of an inch folded twice, and I'm going to go ahead and sew it first before I will join the sides. I will do the same thing on this place as well. So as you can see, I've ironed it. Look at how beautiful this is looking. Okay, even though there is joining, it still came out perfect, and that's what we want. Okay, look at how I aligned the part where the joining is, so that it doesn't look like it's a mistake. It looks a little bit more intentional. Okay, so this is what you are aiming for. I've ironed it, and now I want to show us the inside. I also weaved the inside the same line. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is open up the seam to create the room for the ruched effect. Okay, so from here I'm going to start joining it. I'm going to sew from here down, sew from here down. I'll do the same thing on this side before we will attach the beads. Okay, so from here down and here down, and I have made, this is the rope I'm going to be using for the ruched effect. I have very long rope here, 2 of them for both sides. So this is what I have done. So from down I measured 16 inches up. Okay, and then I ran a stitch on it. So open up your seam line and sew it to opposite directions, this one this way and this one this way, and this is how it looks at the back. This is how it looks at the back. So I'm going to be passing the rope for the loops. I'm going to be passing the ropes. I'm going to start with this one. Okay, I'm going to use my loop turner to do this. It's going to make it faster. So I'm going to pass this here and come out from where there is no stitch, and then hook it on the loop turner and gently pull it through. And this one is out. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So you can just make sure the rope is same length, and this is what you have. So when you pull on it, you get this gathered effect. Okay, so just pull and gather it. This is how it's looking at the back. So okay, so I'm going to straighten this out first. We're going to do the pulling when we're done. I'll repeat the same thing I've done here on this side. So now that we've done with this part, I'm going to turn into the back. So this is the back, and what I'm going to be doing at the back is the beads. So this is the beads I'm going to be working with. When we were taking the measurement, I said from the shoulder I'm going to measure up 12 inches down. That's where I'm going to start increasing the quantity of pearl I'll be adding to it. Okay, so because we have used half an inch to join at the top, I'm going to now measure 11 inches down and I'll pin it. So measure here to 11 inches down, oh sorry, 11.5 inches down, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to do 11.5 inches down and pin it, and then 11.5 inches down here and pin it as well. Next, you get your needle. I'm using a normal small needle, a normal hand needle. Okay, I passed my thread through it and I doubled the thread. I have 4 on it like this, so to make it very thick, I don't want it to loosen out. Okay, so I'm going to start passing it. I want to take this measurement to be sure I still have 2 inches here. Wow, so at the end of the day, what I have is like 3 inches in the space. Okay, so I'm going to be using 3 inches like that. So I will start by making a knot. I'm going to pass the thread here and make a knot. Okay, so I'm going to cut out this part, the last piece, and then to start, you need to cut this bead from one end. So I'm going to pass my beads until I get 3 inches. So what I have here, let me measure it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So 12 pieces of this bead gives me 13, gives me 3 inches. So 12 pieces of the bead gives me 3 inches, which is what I need. Okay, and I'm going to start attaching it. Now if you put the 3 inches like this, it's just going to be straight, and we're not trying to make it straight, so you want to make it a bit loose. Okay, as if it's creating like a fold around the back. Okay, so it's like a curve, a bit of a curve. So I'm going to add like 1 more to it, just so it doesn't go exactly on that 3 inches. We don't want it to be straight. Okay, so when I tack it, it will have a little bit of the curve. So I'm going to tack it at the top here, at the end here. Okay, so I have this now. After tying it here, I have to mark out where I'm going to be adding the next ones. Okay, so this is going to go as, so I measured 0.75 inches as the distance between each one. So you can do more than this, or you can use the exact 0.75 inch. That's up to you. So I don't have to cut my thread. I'll just be passing it through the hem in here. Okay, so I'm just going to pass it. I'll put it into the fabric like so and pass it through. Alright, so when you see this now, so I pass it through the hem I made at the back here, and I come out exactly at the place I want to put it, and then I'll take out the pin there and make a knot. You have to make a knot in case one of them loses, so it doesn't take everything with it. Okay, always make a knot at the beginning and at the end of each bead you are placing, so that if for any reason one of them caught on the way, everything will not just lose and pour on the ground. Okay, so you can save the rest in case of any of those things. So I'm going to pack another 13 beads here. 1 2 3. Then I'll bring it this way and lock it here. So I'm going to continue this like this until I get to this place, and then I will increase it to 4 inches, because over here, remember, we folded in more than this half of an inch that we earlier discussed, that on this side. So when I get to this side, I'm going to increase it. So I'm going to continue this off camera, but you already know how to do it now. So after making the knot, like I said, make a knot at every beginning and every end of it. Okay, after making a knot, I'm going to just pass it through this this hem here, this sewing allowance, and come out on the next spot where I want to attach the next bead. So come out from here, when it comes out here, you take out the pin and then you make another knot here, you tie it. So I tie it more than once, so you can do it more than once as well. When you get towards the end of the hem of the dress, you can go up by 10 inches and stop beading at that point, because you don't want to sit on the beads when you sit down. So you want it to be in a position where when you sit down, it will just be on top of your waist, as you see in the finished look. Thank you for watching to the end of the tutorial. See you in my next sewing tutorial, guys. Bye bye.